Forward Rodrygo has been linked with a move away from the Bernabeu. South American football expert Tim Vickery believes the Brazil international could leave Madrid if Xabi Alonso doesn't play him in his preferred position.
Let's watch this space over the next couple of weeks, because this could be interesting. And Rodrygo has the Real Madrid dilemma, doesn't he? That it's hard for players to be top dog there. And he's so talented. He's almost absurdly talented. But someone has to do the hard yards. And, Jude Bellingham said last year that he considered Rodrygo the most talented of all of them and the one who has to sacrifice himself most for the side. Now, where does Xabi Alonso see him? Because he can play anywhere across the front line. Didn't use him very much in the Club World Cup. And when he did, wide right. Now, we know that Rodrygo doesn't really want to play wide right. He would far prefer a free role. Now, what we understand is that he's very keen on staying at Real Madrid and proving to Xabi Alonso that he can be a key part of that side. Over the next 2 weeks, if that doesn't happen, then he may start looking around. What an asset he would be. It's almost like one of those mafia films when you need to break away and start your own family, because he is so good.
Yeah, he is good. And Arsenal were linked with him earlier in the window, Dharmesh. Could they go back in?
Look, let's be straight here, first of all, that the focus at Arsenal, after what's been a pretty impressive transfer window, I think we'll be talking about that in a moment anyway, is going to be on sales. Fulham have been in talks with Arsenal over Reiss Nelson. Stuttgart are still pursuing Fabio Vieira. It's understood suitable offers would be considered for the likes of Alexander Zinchenko, Albert Sambi Lokonga as well. Could they go back into the market? I think Arsenal are a club who, when they see a market opportunity, want to be in a position to be able to act if it is a big market opportunity. And I don't think it would get much bigger an opportunity than if Rodrygo suddenly became available in the transfer window. It would be one that would be later on in that window. But it is true that they have kept an eye on Rodrygo throughout this transfer window and just keeping an eye on his situation, because, as Tim Vickery mentioned there, it does look a little bit precarious with regard to him and Real Madrid. If he doesn't get his way and play in the position he wants, is he going to agitate to move? And who can then act quickly? Arsenal would want to be in a position if they do that. However, it should be remembered, and I mentioned it before, about the signings that they've made in those forward areas. Noni Madueke's there. He can play across the front three. And Ethan Nwaneri is very, very soon expected to sign a new long-term contract. So it's not a case of they desperately need a player in that position. Maybe they want one, though.
Indeed. All right, Dharmesh just mentioned Noni Madueke. He's just come on for Arsenal. They are playing Madueke via Emirates, currently losing 3-2. Nicola Pepe, former Arsenal player, scored against them. But Christian Norgard and a Martin Ødegaard penalty have got Arsenal in this. 3-2 at the moment. Right, this is what I've been waiting for all the time. You two keep telling me, and you've told me all day, Arsenal have had a great window. I put it to you that the players they've brought in aren't necessarily an upgrade on what they had before. Rob Dorset, discuss.
I think they are. I think they are an upgrade. I think Arsenal have had a fantastic window. But I think, despite that, Liverpool, especially if they do Isak, will have had an extraordinary stratospheric window. And so the irony here is that I think Arsenal have had a brilliant window, and yet they may have lost ground in terms of squad strength on their nearest rivals from last season, Liverpool, who went on to win the title. If you look at Arsenal's strategy, I think it's pretty clear what they've been trying to do here. A goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea. A defender, Christian Mosquera from Valencia. Two defensive midfield players, because it's pretty clear that Arteta felt they were lacking in that department last season, with Christian Norgard from Brentford and Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. A winger, Noni Madueke, we've just been talking about him, from Chelsea. And the jewel in the crown, a striker, which they've needed for 2 years or more, in Victor Gyökeres. Proven track record, 27 years old, straight out the box, ready to go and score goals in the Premier League.
Let's pick a couple of those. Is Zubimendi an upgrade on Partey? Is Norgard an upgrade on Jorginho, for instance? Because it's been put to me, Dharmesh, that actually the floor has risen, but the ceiling hasn't at Arsenal.
Well, if you look at clubs who are near the top of the league, they always strengthen when they are at their strongest. Now, Arsenal, however, rival fans will take the mick a little bit and sing the song Second Again. The fact of the matter is, when Mikel Arteta joined, they were finishing 8th. Now they are firm challengers for the Premier League title every single season. And if you look at what they've done in this window, Rob went through it there, but Kepa.
Now we're going to take you around all 20 Premier League clubs. Dharmesh, where should we start?
Let's start on A and Arsenal, James. Stuttgart in talks with Arsenal over the signing of their midfielder Fabio Vieira.
Newcastle involved in Europe once again, as we know, at the highest level. And Ramsdale, former club Arsenal, you mentioned them, James. They've already been busy. Might not be done yet. What's happening now with the Bereza? Where are we at with this one?
Yeah, look, first of all, Arsenal, yes, as you mentioned, busy in the market so far. 6 players already they've brought in. Victor Gyökeres, the latest of which joining the likes of Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Christian Mosquera, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Noni Madueke. Outgoing's probably going to be the focus.